Oh, everything should be working. Let me only check Twitch and YouTube. Because I don't believe that I set everything up correctly. Oh, Twitch is working. That's a new one. Let's see YouTube. YouTube. Okay, it should work. It does show the screen, so most likely it does work. Uh, so, hello everyone, and I will be continuing on the goblins from Heroes of Might and Magic. 1 or 2. Working. Let me check. Okay, it does work, but there's a huge delay on YouTube. So the last time I did this guy, and today I will continue just like refining him and everything. I will try to figure out the skirt, and I will try to like polish him up a bit more and work on the outline, because today I just noticed that the outline is really messy. And there are a lot of problems with the shadows on the neck. I am not sure what I wanted to achieve in here, but looking at this one now kinda proves that I was not really looking that much on it. So yeah, basically this entire area should be in a shadow. Also, I might try do the up vertical type of a thingy. So in here, for example, we will be able to see the entire thing. Let me just move it to the side. Whoops. And in here I will be able to work on this fella up close, so the entire render will be, or at least should be, a little bit closer. And as always, if anyone has any questions whatsoever, feel free to ask. And if anything is unclear, or if you would like to know anything about anything, let me know. I will answer best to my abilities, and if anyone would like me to see your work or whatever, or give you a critique or whatever, also feel free to send those to me through, I believe Twitch is better, as always, so for the links. So yeah, the drill stays exactly the same, and I will see how long I will be streaming today, but I feel that today I can do maybe a bit more than usual. So maybe I will be able to push the goblin a bit more. Let me actually make a copy. So I will be painting on a copy just to be able to check how it does progress. In the future. Also, if anything is not working anywhere, let me know, because recently it has been a common thing for the things in the stream to not work. So yeah. Also, I have been trying to kinda wiggle a bit more with the settings of the stream, and I do believe now the live stream should be 4K actually, so the quality should be much nicer. Because previously I used to stream in 4K. I have no idea what changed, like maybe some sort of an update. Just swapped my settings on and everything. But yeah, now I increased the bitrate, increased the general quality of everything, of the output image, so now it should be nicer. So yeah. And for this guy I also want to kinda introduce a bit more interesting textures on him, so he won't be just as boring as just like a casual tubes of forms of muscles and whatnot. And also I will have to like later slightly do some liquify thingies for this fella. So he will be, I need to straighten him a bit more here and there. So he should look a bit nicer. And also now when I'm looking at it, this method that I have used with the multiply layer and everything, set on blue, kinda kicked me in the ass, because I do have a lot of blue hues in the areas where I don't want to have any blue hues whatsoever. So I think I will have to readjust this method or watch the tutorials again on it, because I think I am missing something, some crucial informations about about the technique that I wanted to use. Let me turn off this fella. Yeah, but generally speaking, I just want to today increase the quality of the general general render to it. And yeah, and I finally managed to finish almost finished my deck for goblins in Magic the Gathering. So now I only need to wait for the last cards to arrive, and I will have a really cute goblin aggro deck. I actually will build two decks because one of those will be like more burn type of a deck, and the second one will be like pure spam. And now I'm 100% sure that after I wrap up with those creatures for the planes, then I am going to make some fake Magic the Gathering cards. So it will be actually more cool to do some more dynamic illustrations instead of like this kind of static representations of the characters. And because for a really long period of time I have not done any like full illustrations, so I definitely would enjoy a bit more of this type of a thing to incorporate it into the things that I do. So yeah, in here definitely much more brownish tones, brown and yellowish type of a thing is, because this is all like really close to each other, so not a lot of blue light have any sort of an occasion to bounce off the character. It will mostly bounce off as a green light in this area, so all the shadows should be slightly darker. Areas with stuff like this. And yeah. And also today I have been running for the first time, and I don't know how long it passed since the last time I have been running, and it's a torture. I absolutely now remember why I don't like running. Running is just extremely hard, and it's just kind of boring in a sense, at least for me. I never liked running. It's just like, nah. But I do need to move much more. And even the fact that I'm standing right now in the desk, which is really cool. Like I remember when, like quite some time ago, when I was telling you that I did bought this like standing desk, how it will work, and honestly, it's a really cool thing to have. Working while standing is really cool, and if any of you have a possibility to get one, I highly recommend it. It's a really good thing to do. It really makes the entire thing a little bit more interesting, and I kind of feel a little bit more energized in a sense while working while standing. It's a bit easier. Also with the blue hues, the hard part is that this guy actually kind of could have some blue hues on his body, so if he can have some blue hues on it. No, hello, yeah. I have not seen your messages because I was in a wrong tab with the chat. So hello, Gorigon, the Jofo, Jade Jazz. Yeah, hello. I knew I will forgot about something, so here it is. I forgot about the tabs. Also, this hand looks kinda awkward. Also, I'm absolutely not sure about the light quality on this one. Like the longer I look at it, the more I feel it's like really off in terms of like the colors and the placement of the shadows and everything. But I guess it's just one of those things that I just have to endure, the fact that I don't like it. And I kind of feel as I said, the starting approach kind of fucked me quite a lot. So I will have to kinda maybe somehow rework it with the actual painting, because I don't know, like the method with the multiply is really cool and everything, but the shadows that are facing pretty much the ground area will be much more golden, much more green. Actually, a friend of mine also wrote to me, like right before the stream, that I should add some more yellowish and greens and yellows in the shadows, and he is absolutely correct for me to do so, and to also maybe add some blue hues to the nose and stuff like this. So yeah, I will have to do it. Thanks, Michał. And also on the face, the eye sockets definitely won't be like green, they will be much more like yellow orange type of a thing. So maybe actually I should try to do it with the adjustment, because those colors can be even a bit brighter, all these shadows on the face. And now how to do it so it will avoid the light. Yep. Now let me try to make it a bit brighter and a bit more saturated. I actually kind of like how it looks like. That it has this like a bit more flat quality to it. I do enjoy it. It does look kind of cool-ish. But I need to recolor those shadows, and after recoloring them, especially on the legs, there's like 0 chance of any blue hue to appear on the legs. I will simply like just go over him on the head and everywhere. And yeah. And also with the adjustments, blues, there's barely any blues on him, so I will add the blues last. And there's also a nice thing that you can do, display capture. When you have the hue saturation and you are not sure if you have too much of some color, you can just like select, for example, cyan, and just increase the saturation to 100%, so you will see where the cyans are. And with the blues, because I don't want any blues to be present at the moment, there are barely some on the tips of the bones and of the horns, like on the piercing in the nose. So I don't bother with those, but yeah. But this also gave me the idea to actually remove at this point the piercing, because it's a really easy fix to add. It will allow me to a little bit better work on the face of this fella, and I will later add it, just re-add it, so I could control it a bit better. Then, as with the shadows, as I usually suggest, in the like really dark areas, deep areas, like eye sockets and everything, all the shadows should be like really dark and really saturated, because this is like a area where not a lot of light kinda reaches this place. So some wrinkles. So yeah. And because not a lot of light reaches here, the occlusion shadows will be quite dark, but also really saturated, because if you are like doing those really the deepest shadows, it's basically like the only color it can gather is the color of the light around it, that is kind of like shining through it. And in this case, this is like green light leading in back. Kind of want him to give some sort of an emotion, like some wrinkles on a face, on a forehead. Actually, painting wrinkles is really hard. I always struggled with it, but this brush is ideal for it. So basically, like it does this type of a thing. So you can just do this, then take a brighter color and this, and it does look really nice as a wrinkle. So yeah, here you have it. And also adding a bit more light to the face. Also, while doing this guy, I'm trying to actively look on basically on the miniature in here, so I am 100% sure that I am not overexposing anything. Basically, the last thing that I'd like to do is to go like pure white on him. Only really few spots on the face should have the like pure white on it. Even all this light in here now is a little bit too bright, so I need to make it a bit darker, but I kind of feel like this shine, especially on the brow, is kind of justified. And also maybe like a small reflection of light in here. Maybe some blue reflections in there. Like make the eyes slightly more alive. Also, those type of reflections usually bring really tons of light to the character, so tons of life. So if you are struggling to add a life to the portrait or the monster you are drawing, just try to experiment a bit with all the reflections on the eye, because usually the wetness is what makes the character really pop out. And yeah, and also for the green creatures, if anyone felt a little bit too young today, do you know that our favorite green creature Shrek is over 21 years old? I recently started like looking what is like how old again, because I wanted to know what else is also turbo old, and it turns out the Shrek is over 20 years, which is not fair. I don't really enjoy this information, but well, it is the truth. And also in areas like this, remember that you kind of have to think about how easy it is for the light to bounce around it. So it might not be as easy to bounce, so then the shadow will be significantly darker and maybe not as saturated, because even the reflected light have some problems to actually reach the source. The lips usually are kind of like wet, so adding some like highlights to them is not that big of a deal. This can also bring quite a lot of light to them, also for the teeth, because given the fact that they will be like quite yellow more likely, or black as I do them now, still they will be quite often quite wet because of the tongue and everything. So yeah. But this is progressing kinda nicely. So yeah. So as you can see, the goblin is kinda coming together, and yeah, given the color change, it does a lot for the face. It looks much more believable in a sense, maybe even a bit more of a dark shadows here and there to make this fella a bit more alive. Also, if anyone is new in here, there is a Discord channel where you can upload your artworks, and I even managed to be more and more active in there, so feel free to step by and drop some artworks if you have any, or if you want to just discuss or enjoy the community, because there's maybe not a lot, but quite a lot of people in there, around 70 at this point, which is, I consider, kind of okay-ish amount of people. But people keep posting better and better stuff all the time. Today, Miblert, I believe, posted a lot of sculpts that he did for his school, which is really also cool. digital sculpting is definitely one of the things that at some point I will finally have to get through a little bit more, but not enough time in a week at this point. And I definitely need to organize everything that I do a bit better, because recently when I have been reevaluating how I spend my time, and it turns out I really waste tons of time, so I could really organize everything a bit better to be able to do a little bit more. And definitely I have to start exercising more again, because this is actually a really cool tip that I wrote somewhere quite some time ago. That if you struggle to organize your time in a good manner, but you really want to organize it, start exercising and build your habits and build your schedule around the exercises. So if you know, let's say this day and that day, you need to go to the gym, and at this hour and this hour you have to, I don't know, eat or go to run or do whatever, it will be light years easier to organize the entire day, because you will have like a schedule that you just have to follow. And really often, especially if you are going to enroll for some sort of a physical activities where there are I don't know, classes or whatever, then it's pretty much mandatory to be on time, because if you will skip the class, they will only be at certain hours, so you won't be able to attend all of them. I mean, you won't be able to attend them when they are not happening, so it might actually bring a bit of a balance to the life. And this is also the reason why I decided I will start running again, because I also need to drop a bit fat from myself and to stop eating so much junk. So yeah, because those type of stuff also can influence and negatively affect the quality of work, because if you feel like shit after eating I don't know, 5 packages of chips or whatever, then most likely the work you are going to produce will also be shit. So yeah, and this is the thing that I'm now trying to kinda change again, as it used to be back in the days. Kinda like how kinda ugly this guy is, but there is the spark of intelligence in him. You can see that there is a thought in his mind, that he's actively trying to process something. It's not often where I can see that I like the facial features that I have done for anything. I usually really don't like the faces that I do, but this one I think is kinda okay-ish. And I don't know if it's not too contrasty. Let's see what will the auto color say. Yeah, auto color does not nothing. Auto contrast and auto tone, nah, it does not nothing. Does not know. In the background it wanted to be like this. Where the background I actually want, well, not this adjustment. Where I want it to actually be a little bit more red or maybe yellow. Huh. Kind of funny that you can see the thing. Usually when I am not on a display capture, can you see the adjustments? Oh, nice. Usually when I am on display, not on a display capture, it does not allow to view all the windows, floating windows. I don't even know if windows is a word, like a plural for windows. I think the windows is oh my god, I'm stupid. Window. Window is singular and windows are plural. My brain froze for a second. That was bright windows. That was really bright. Okay. I really dislike this type of a skirt, type of a thingy. I think it looks kinda like shit the way I did it, so I will just like cut it out. And paste it again. And I will actually separate the legs, so, well, yeah, I will separate those and make the body over everything, the skirt under the body. So I will have easier time actually adjusting this guy and adjusting the skirt. So how do I make it look not like shit? Maybe I do have some magical brushes that paint skirts. It is possible. For example, something like this might work. Something like this might work. Something like this also may work. But this is one of those patterns that is just like, I would say, hard to paint in a sense. This brush, nah, it does not work. And this is definitely one of the things that I would try to solve with a brush, because this is not really like a turbo interesting texture. It's more like a annoying texture to do. So just remove some of the parts of the things that are in here so I can see clearly what I'm painting. Because this is definitely is going to be one of the harder textures to paint, and I would like to try to avoid photo pasting it. So maybe this brush is really cool. It goes to my favorite brushes. This might also work because those are like type of lines. They tend to work, especially on a mixer brush. Where is this brush? Because maybe on wet heavy mix, maybe it will actually give me the desired effect. It will kind of groom everything that I have on this layer here and there, and just like make this feeling, but it's too uniform. Oh, this might be nice. Oh boy, it's not. Kind of think some really heavy texture brush will exit perfectly in here. But even doing something like this already makes it look a bit better. I definitely want it to be a little bit less uniform. This is definitely my goal. And to make it a little bit more readable, it also needs some thickness. So to explain it from the side and to kind of remember that this is the brush that I have been using. Yes. Yeah, those are the brush. So from the side, if this dude has like his stomach in here and his body like in here and his head like in here, I want the skirt to not be like this, because this is kind of lame and boring. I kind of want it more to be a bit more like this. So there are some like levels to it. It's a bit uneven and there's like a thickness to it. So if I were to draw it from the below, if you can see it, maybe white will be, yeah, white will be better. So from the below, it will kind of have this type of a structure and a thickness to it in here. So it's like going like this. So this actually will solve the problem of, this will actually solve the problem of the what I wanted to say, what this will solve the problem of the visibility of the thingy on him. Why now it's not working as it used to work? Did I grab it? Oh, I grabbed the bad brush. This is not the brush I have been using. Yep. I lost the brush that I have been using. That's a shame. And I have not the slightest clue which one it was. I think it was in the Clouds tab. And it might have been this one. Yeah, it's this one. Yeah, so this is why the mixer brush tool is just cool as a tool. And also, it might have been a good brush, but I have been using the wrong tool. No, it was that one. It was this one. Yep. Wait, no, it's not this one. That one gave me much sharper texture. Okay, I lost it. It's lost forever. Maybe it was not very wet heavy mix, but maybe like moist heavy mix. Dry heavy load. Could have been set up for the dry somehow for a second. Yeah, but generally speaking, the mixer brush tool is cool because it allows you to paint with like texture already in it. So anything that you will paint will have a bit more variation to it already. Now to add some like second level type of a thingy. So there will be some more thickness to it. I also do believe I might deal the same way with this 4. I don't like how it looks right now, so I do feel it looks a bit odd. So as you can see, for the 4, this tool is actually absolutely amazing. It just creates those textures. And this is actually one of the tools that I always wanted to use more, but I never kind of knew how. Because it's much more painterly than 99% of the things that I tend to do. But recently I have been experimenting a bit with it, and yeah, just the effects as a starter, even not as a final something, is just nice. Yeah, it's all about the settings, I would say. The settings are kinda tricky, especially like, for example, right now I have no idea. Okay, it's not painting because I have not selected anything, and I did not want to select this because it will cast some shadow on it. Yeah, but even now looking at it, it just looks light years better. I might even try to add some of the details to the goblin body this way. But let's give it wet and light mix. So it will actually mix with everything that there is on a gobo. So if I could incorporate all those like brush work into the stuff that I do, I will be really happy. This is usually a very tricky thing to do. And as far as I know, also a mixer brush tool is really good to add all the like subtle transitions, because it just like mixes kinda everything around. And because it mixes everything around, it just makes the transitions a bit nicer and a bit softer and everything. So yeah. So for example, if I want to add a bit more of this light on this tit, I can just do this and it will be kinda added, but needs a bit more cleanup later. So yeah. There is this. A mixer brush tool is really good. I might actually steal the color from the grass that he's standing within to introduce this grass to the skirt that he has. So by introducing the new color, it will be slightly more uniform in the color scheme, in the color palette. I think the skirt around is like the grass around is a little bit more reddish and a little bit, yeah, it's just a little bit more red. Let me see if I can, the color balance made it a bit more red. This is what I wanted. No. Now I kind of dig it a little bit more yellow-ish. Shadows. Shadows also a bit, but without magenta. I'm not sure what colors do I want it to have, but I feel this yellowish is a bit nicer. Yeah, let's stick with it right now. Okay, for the legs, they do have to be a bit more in here. Also for the skirt, it does need to go a bit more wider here and a bit more narrower here. And to make it a bit cleaner, I can select this color, take a much brighter color to actually paint the individual strands of the grass on it. So it will have some highlights here and there. And also this brush is just really also cool. I do believe this is like a Dave Raposa brush. I think he used to do a lot of drawings with it, and this is one of his detailing brush. So really back in the days, like the DeviantArt era and everything, when he was already painting photorealistic crazy stuff on his DeviantArt. He once shared his brushes, and I do believe this one is from him. And that I kept it since, because it's just a really good brush, like a really strong texture. And some older brushes that I just tend to use a lot. And also when you are brightening something with the dodge tool, remember to be a bit more subtle with it. So I recently started leaning towards the midtones instead of highlights, and especially with the protect and the protect tones, it seemed to work really well because it kind of makes everything a bit brighter by making it slightly more white. And as you can see, the highlights is really overpowering a lot of the things that I would do to it. But sometimes highlights are also okay-ish. Let's not do the bug for this fella. Here's his bug. If I have no idea what he could have in this bag, but I don't know, food or whatever. But he will have a bug. And also it's just one of those things that is kind of nice as an add-on to a character. So it's always nice to add something like this to your designs. And also one of the huge reasons why I wanted to do those in the first place, like the goblins and everything, and the planes, is because I do suck quite a lot in terms of painting anything in daylight. So by actually trying to paint all those in a broad daylight is extremely challenging for me because this is not how I usually work and the light setup that I usually use. So it's much more tricky, definitely, for me. But yeah, without trying, I won't learn how to do it. So yeah, and a lot of magic cards actually are painted in a broad daylight. So if at any point in my life I would like to make a magic card, then I have to know how to paint stuff in daylight. And a bit of blue to kinda give it a nice push. And because those guys are using the bones, you will have like this bony type of a thingy to keep it closed or open. So yeah. Where's my smudge brush? It should be somewhere in here. Then I lost my... No. Yes? No. I have it. And smudging is a nice way to just reduce the sharpness of something and then to bring it back. And if you might wonder why to bring it back, usually smudging something creates like this natural like lower detail layer, and then if you will apply more details onto it, like you will apply some details on the blurred areas, they will look much sharper than previously because you actually created a strong contrast between the sharp objects, sharp details, and really soft details. So it might work for your advantage to sometimes work on a blurred surfaces. And it will also blend some uneven brushwork. So it also have like a hidden bonus to it. Hmm. Some light in the... I don't remember how it's called. In Polish it's pępek. In English it's... I don't know. Also let me turn off the light. Fuck. Yeah, but I have to tell you, after running today for like a spectacular, I don't know, 25 minutes or something like this, but uphill, after like almost an hour of standing, I can already feel my legs. My condition is shit, to put it simply. Okay. Do I have a reference photo of someone holding the spear of the... Yes. I do have my hand. Also, let me try one thing. Kinda cheat a bit more, but I wonder if it will work. This is my hand. And what will happen if I will just... The light source is not correct, but go like this, go like this, and go like this, maybe a bit yellower. Something like this. And decrease the brightness of some areas. And this is, kids, how you do the hands. As long as it works. Of course, now I have to paint over it, but... And I kind of feel like I'm cheating, but... At least it looks okay. This layer, yeah. So now I only need to add some details to it. And to match the light. And those type of things are, I would say, quite common in illustration and everything. The more I started to see how some people work, and the more I started to notice how they do a lot of stuff, I kind of think I do need to work a bit more with the photos to increase the general quality. Of course, you can draw everything, and of course it requires just like a good drawing skills, and this is pretty much not a secret, that you need to know how to draw to actually draw something. But for example, in those guys, I can also try to photo brush some elements to just try to make it look a bit nicer and painted, because this is also a skill that is extremely useful. And yeah, this is not something that I do often, or that often. So maybe introducing some of those concepts here will prove themselves useful. And actually, because you usually want the hand to have much more details than anything that you paint on the rest of the character, because we really tend to look quite a lot on the hands. So yeah, but I need to decrease the brightness of the fingers because they're way too bright. The light setup on the photo that I took was quite different, so I just need to match it a bit more. And of course I want this guy to have like a black nails, because why not? This finger will be more in light, this one more in light, slightly here, and less here. Yeah, it does look kinda decent. Not the best, but not terrible. And this goblin is definitely not my Magnus Opum, or however to say it. Magnus Opum, Opium Magnus, I don't remember it. Like my best work in the entire world. But at least it's fun. So it gets a pass. Okay. So for the areas like here, I really want to kind of give it a really sharp lines with some sharp brushes. So kinda to make it even look like an outline, because this will kind of naturally give this ambient occlusion type of a detail to it. And definitely will make the entire thing much sharper. And now the sharpness is something that I crave for this guy. I do believe I will have to paint much more on the rest of the body to kind of match the quality to the hand, because the hand is clearly a photo. So yeah. I don't know, a bit longer. I was kind of thinking about maybe 3 hours or something like this. I will see how the painting will go, because I might at some point just like get tired with it. It does happen, so yeah, but I was planning a bit longer. Because also today I managed to wake up much earlier than I usually do, which is also quite amazing for me. Life-changing things happened, and waking up earlier is a spectacular thing. You have a lot of time during the day. It's outstanding. So I do have a bit more time now, because I did vast majority of the things that I had to do already. So yeah. Now I'm also thinking to add a bit more blue on the edge of the arm, because I kind of feel the forearm is disappearing in the background. Maybe even a bit more, almost like a white outline type of a thing in here. So just like Fresnel, but kinda extreme. No, but it does look like shit, so now. How did this guy solve it? It still blows my mind how clean it is and how up close simply it is painted. It's wild. Unli is crazy. Oh, I'm glad that you do paint. Yeah, this was like also the kind of initial idea for those streams to be a companion. Can you see a display? Yeah, display. Well, I did not want to do this. Let me reconnect the body to the rest of the, no, wrong. Oh, this to this. No. This, yes. Let me remove this and filter and liquify. And I want to use where is this? Filter liquify. I want to use liquify because I need to adjust some of the shapes in here, but not that much zoom is needed. So liquify is still, I believe, one of the best tools in Photoshop because it does allow you to like make extremely fast and precise changes and really subtle changes also without pretty much destroying the entire painting. So you can like move the entire areas of your painting at the same time. Make it like here. I kind of like the fact that he is kind of like fat, like that he has this like barrely stomach. I always liked you can do this. And the second year, I have no idea what I have been thinking previously about his geometry and shape, but it will be much more like this. Much more like this. Also, this guy could serve like a role of some sort of a scout. So if you are like the cheapest unit, and one could say you are quite expandable because of the numbers and the price, and goblins definitely are expandable, and also that you have like a huge ass ears, then maybe your like huge bonus to be in the useful in the army is actually hearing. So maybe those guys are just really good at hearing stuff and thus providing the value, because if you have like huge ears, I can imagine you are hearing well, if you want or if you don't want to, like you will hear well. Yeah, so as you can see, from this to this, in my opinion, this is like a huge difference. It's a little bit less awkward, and now the ear definitely looks much better. So yeah, let me turn off display capture. I have not the slightest clue why I have not done the ear the way it's now. Not a single idea why, but hey, now it looks better. And a bit more light here because the light is pretty up top, pretty high on the sky. And also this is one of the reasons why I kind of like doing those on stream, because I'm pretty much not looking at those for the entire week or like 3 or 4 days, depends how often I stream. And this gives me enough time to actually process what I see and to forget how it looks like. So after like a week, like right now, I can pretty much just open it and be like, huh, I can see all the small mistakes that I have done and I might correct them. So this is also why I sometimes recommend to even like start 5 different paintings on the same time, or like 3 or whatever, how many you feel like comfortable with doing at the same time. And just this part of the ear will be in the light, and just like working one time on this, one time of that, and this way you can like just experiment with different techniques on different paintings. And I do believe it's better to finish like 5 paintings on the same time, while doing 5 at the same time, instead of like doing one, finish, doing next, one, finish, doing next, because you don't really have this time to think on it and to actually to criticize it properly. Because a huge part of like making good illustrations or better illustrations is actually being able to look at the work that you do with like a dose of skepticism and to have this like critic eye on the stuff that you do. Yeah, and also if you are like a goblin has long as ears, the ending of those ears will be torn because of reasons. And it also adds a nice level of detail. Maybe the ear should end like kind of like this. Maybe there should be like a ridge, a thickening in this general area. I think it does work nice. And there's like this thickened part on the edge. Kind of justifies the pointy ending to the ears. This is pretty much flat. So yeah, I'll try to bring a bit more light here and there. Especially the top of the stomach will be a bit brighter because it's like a sphere that is pretty much facing the light source. So yeah. And the oblique, I don't think I want the oblique to be as bright and prominent. Yeah, with some like I used to be guilty on it, but it's better to have 20 that are started than to have none. But it's even better to have like one that is finished. But this is why like choose that you like and like choose 3 of them and finish them and just scrap the rest and like be free of them, because also having too much to do and just worrying that I did not finish it, yada yada, is also bad. I mean, it is for morale and everything, it's extremely bad because it will like discourage you from doing anything. But definitely one of the hardest things that there is in art is finishing the painting. This is definitely the hardest skill to acquire, to have. Because starting a new project is easy, doing something for the new project is easy, but actually taking time and effort and just a willpower to go through it, even when it starts to look like shit, this is the hard part. And if you can go through it, then it's really good. But also in the professional work, it's the same stuff. You will be spending much more time than you would like to on some projects, and yeah. So yeah, I would just scrap those entirely, and that's all. At least some of those, because I do believe you can easily say which ones are more interesting to you and which ones are not. But you might also go with like the complexity levels, finish the easiest ones first, and then finish the slightly harder ones. I mean, hitting a wall is important, I do believe I said it in some videos like previously back in the days, because when I used to make videos discussing different topics, but now I pretty much are not willing to edit all the videos and whatnot. But if you hit a wall, then this is like the best thing that you can do, because you actually reached, in a sense, your limit of abilities. So after hitting a wall, you can really easily pinpoint where you hit actually the wall. So yeah, is the wall like because of the face, because of the anatomy, because of the colors, because of this and that, and yeah, bazillion different things can make you hit the wall. But if you can identify what was the main problem, then you can like really easily try to solve this problem. So if you know that you hit a wall because you, I don't know, can't paint a face, and just study faces and go back to the project. And yeah, and just identify why you hit the wall, and you will be good to go in the future projects. Because yeah, this is how we actually learn as humans. And also painting is just problem solving. So hitting a wall is just like an obstacle that you have to solve. I would say vast majority of painting is just like a puzzle that you need to solve, but every time you kind of get the same pieces, but every time something is a bit different. And every time when you think you already solved and cracked the code, turns out you get a painting with like a problem that is absolutely stupid and is actually extremely hard to solve. And you will feel like you don't know nothing and that you wasted, like, I don't know, years of education because you can solve something simple. It happens all the time. Yeah, it's also a good idea to approach it like this. For me, hitting a wall is like, okay, maybe not now, but I will be ready, I don't know, in a week or in 2 weeks or whatever. And I will win at some point. And also it will give me a lot of thinking, like I can do it, so watch. And then I fail miserably, and it turns out I can't do it. But at least I tried. And yeah, I will fail 10 times. What is going on with this hand? Goodbye, hand. I will fail many times and just try again. And at some point it will work out this way or another. Or ask for a critique, someone, somewhere, somehow. Because this is like the simplest solution. Every single time when I struggle with something, I'm like, hey, wanna do a critique? And I bother my friends and I'm like, yo, paint over this, yo, paint over this, just like paint over this. And they do, and yeah. Yeah, but the thing also is, especially like I feel 99% of the problems is much easier to relate to the beginners and whatnot. Is the fact that the beginners, me included, want to make those epic stuff, the epic scenes, all the epic shit and everything. When in reality, it's like I'm not even close being ready to do what I want to do. And I have to solve like the basic shit first. So yeah. It's really often not as beautiful as it should be. But it does work. Sometimes you just need to like take a baby steps. A baby step is still a step forward, so slowly but surely, and you're good to go at some point. But it just takes like a fuckload of dedication to do it, so. And it's really easy to get discouraged. In art, it's like the I would say one of the biggest problems. Tons of people just get discouraged because of reasons. Yeah, so for example, like right now, I have not the slightest clue how this like should work, how it should be painting. And this is one of the things that I would definitely need to maybe not research, but like break down simply and just think on it. And because I don't know how to do it, I won't do it at this moment, at this given point in time. I will just go here. And I will paint a stick. And I do know how to paint a stick more or less, or I can guess how to paint it a bit better. So yeah, future me is going to have to deal with the legs. Present me is doing a stick. Whoops. And also painting stuff like sticks. This is hard on a different level. This is like a different type of a problem, because if you have to paint something chunky, there's like a must to it, and you actually have area to paint something. When you're painting a stick, it's like you either have a good color or you don't, and if you don't, then it will look bad. So sometimes even like the simplest things are just extremely hard because they just require you to be precise. And yeah, you can be a little bit more like liberal with all the details on the stick and or the brush strokes, but all the tiny things will in the end make the entire painting look good. So it's also worth spending a bit of a time on it. Yeah, one guy that I'm having some classes with right now kind of told me that I should stop looking at ArtStation. So, but I won't. I just like those images. I like to watch images. I usually don't get discouraged by those, like people being better than me, but it always kind of pisses me off, like or something. I don't know. I don't know how it's called. Kind of pisses me off. Like not really pisses me off, but I'm like, what? When I see someone who is my age or younger, this is even worse and is just like much better in a sense that just the quality is better or they can do all this epic shit. I'm always like kind of jelly, but yeah, life is life. Maybe I can run uphill and they can't or whatever. You never know. But at the same time, it's usually motivating for me to like, okay, time to gear up and do a better job and focus a bit more on it. So yeah, actually, a talk with Daniel Peacock was really eye-opening because vast majority of the illustrations I had done previously in my life was like around 8 hours something. I really rarely exceeded the 8 hours like limit mark on a time because I'm just kind of don't like to work a long time on one thing. It always bores the shit out of me. But when he told me that he spends around 40 hours on one painting, I was like, huh, maybe it's not that I can't paint it. Maybe I just don't have enough time. Maybe I just don't give myself enough time to actually paint something cool. And yeah, it turns out that the things that I can do are better than I expected, but I just need to put time in it. And I usually was not thinking about it this way. Even though I said it many times to different people that I used to teach, that you just need time, just spend more time on it, and you will be okay-ish. But I was guilty of not doing the same thing, and now I know it. Sometimes you just have to hear it, like someone else needs to tell you this, so you can like accept this as a fact. Hey or hi or however it's called on a spear, I do imagine being a little bit more pale. because it's much more often in a direct sun than a skirt, I believe. And it's swinging and whooshing and stabbing things, and it's cleaned and it's touched, and it's like just constantly doing something. So its color should be a bit more like a bit more dead and a bit more white. Maybe they use something to conserve the bony spike that they use. Maybe because of this, just like, I don't know, kind of crumbles on top of this and it gets whiter. But they are super wrong. Yeah, I always blame thanks, that's first, but I always blame the fact that I'm working fast in a sense for all the speed paints that I used to watch. Because when I started, 99% of the videos that were out there were speed paints, and I was just like trying to paint like this really quick. And now I think it kinda is giving me like this let's say style that I have, because I really like to scribble. I don't like to like sit and be like, huh, and just looking at the brush stroke for 5 minutes. Well, a lot of people like painting like this. I know some of them that they like do it, but also a lot of painters, traditional painters, just think much more about each stroke. And also it makes a lot of sense because thinking about the stroke and placing one good stroke is much better than placing 100 strokes that don't like improve the quality of a painting. So I get where they get it from. But yeah. Yeah. Hello, Miho. Misa painting. So yeah. And often with the speed paints, you don't really see how much work went into it. So you just like really often look at edited video, and in the end, you have like 10 minutes looking at something and you're like, wow, somebody spent like 10 minutes on it and it's like rendered all in one go, while in the reality they spent like a month on it and a week on it, and it's like 50 hours of just work. Lifetime painting. We're just talking about the videos that are like sped up as fast as possible, so you compress like 40 hours of work into 10 minutes. So I would kind of say this is like a speed painting. Lifetime painting will be like looking at something in 1-to-1 speed. So yeah. But Michał, I know your English is okay-ish, so I forgive you. But you pretty much talk like me, most likely. Misa paint with a brush. But yeah. A really cool thing would be to just like make a splash of color and to make it look okay in a first go, but it's hard. But it's really hard. Also, if anyone does not know, Michał Sztuka is a guy, that's a shocker, who used to teach me in Domin Warsaw when I was a small kid, attending to high school, I believe, and he taught me how to draw a lot. Yeah. Also, there was like a 20-second delay, so I see everything after a delay. So yeah. But if anyone does not know Michał Sztuka, and I most likely think you don't because he's not really active, go to Michał. This is Wy, but you can just use L, Sztuka. And this is funny because his last name means art in Polish language. So it's basically Michał Art that does art, and on art station. Yeah, and he knows how to do stuff, kinda. So yeah, I always thought that this is like a missed opportunity to not like name his channels and social media like Art of Art, because like yeah, it's just missed opportunity. Yeah, this grass on top look like shit, so I must crop it and I'm gonna paint it from scratch. And I am not going up close to it. So first I will take a darker color and then I will take a brighter color. Like I think this is as bright as it should go. I will just add it here and there. Brolov. Yep. I love you too, Michał. Full homo. So yeah. This grass on top looks absolutely terrible. I will leave it for now. And I will do some bones. And after that I will see where I want to proceed with it, because a lot of small stuff is starting to get a bit harder than I think they should, so and also I kind of miss doing some illustrations, like let's say this in a sense Magic the Gathering type of a thingies illustrations in this vibe, because in full body shot you have to render the full body that is doing like for vast majority of the time nothing, and this Magic the Gathering thing is a lot of dynamic stuff happens, so you can like it's easier to kind of ignore some parts and just leave them kind of unfinished in a sense. So yeah. So this is why I also kind of miss doing those type of an illustrations. But the thing that I'm doing right now, I find really also relaxing and cool. Some hair. I do really love this brush. This brush is amazing. It's like the best type of a brush that you could have. It just provides the great quality and it makes the renders look sexy. So yeah. I kind of dislike his hair. I kind of feel they look... It does look more like a hat instead of hair, so maybe let me search the web for it. Short locks tribal. And maybe there I will find some sort of a hairstyle that I will find more fitting, or I will search to find a reference. Switch the painting dry. Just do it. Just paint it and make sure the mapping of the screen, like the proportion of your screen tablet, is exactly the same. I wanted to go with something like this, but now when I look at it, I don't think I do like it that much. But also, first week will be hard, but just try to get used to it. And also don't press too hard and reduce the pressure sensitivity on a tablet. So you won't have to like press really intensively to get a full opacity stroke. So yeah, I think those two things and you should be good. I think something like this would be better. Wait. Yeah, I think this will be better. So let me separate the top part of the hair, paste it. Let me give him a quick shave. Whoops. Oh no, this might crash Photoshop. This fucking selecting crashes Photoshop all the time. Please don't. Yeah, of course it did. Send a report. Recently I have been crashing Photoshop like all the time. Every single time that I could, it crashed. So let me reopen it. I don't remember the last time I saved. So let's hope. I'm afraid to open the file now. Where are we? Okay, not a tragedy. I think it crashed and it managed to save before. Yeah, it did manage to save before separating the head. Workspace arrange new windows. Yeah, again, Photoshop recently is pure shit again. New updates and now it just crashes all the time. And like quite some time ago I started a thread on Adobe forum and people only like write under this topic that yeah, they do have the same problem and that Adobe is shit. So I start to think exactly the same way. It's not the same program that they used to do. And most likely they are just bottlenecking it, making it crash all the time. So you will buy and wait for the new version, hoping that they will resolve all the problems. But of course they won't, because it's bad for the finances. So yeah. Photoshop bad. Did it remember the brush? I did not even remember the brushes, the new brushes that I like moved to the area where I want them to be. This is bullshit. Try also turning off the rulers. For me, the rulers are causing 90% of the lag. If I turn off the rulers, brushes stop working almost immediately. Like everything is lagging as hell. So yeah, just try turning them off, because this might be the main cause. Okay, I shaved the goblin. However stupid it sounds. Most bane about yeah, no, it's not the case. The case is like I used the selection tool by accident, and Photoshop decided it's too much to select something, and it's just like I'm dead. I'm dead because I did dare to select something by accident. And using basic brushes is lame. Custom brushes with custom tools is the way to go. I don't think even it's a bug. I would say at this point I would say this is intentional at their point. Okay, let me just reduce it and yeah, let me. Do I want his head to be a different shape? Something like this maybe. The head shape is also kinda important. It shouldn't be too big. This goblin definitely is not the brightest creature in the entire plane, like thingy, the place where they live. So yeah, I think even the uneven head is a bit more fitting to them. I also kind of like them bald. Yeah. Flipping actually might be a bit more like resource intensive. This is a thing that I'm sure it is. Especially if you have a lot of adjustment layers and stuff like this. I like him bald. Maybe he should have just like this type of a thing. Huh. Huh. Because he could have like 5 hair strands or whatever, like 5 dreadlocks on top of his head, just like connected to it. Just like tied to the bones. Just pulling on his scalp. I do like it much more than this like than the thing that they used to have. But I like the reference for the light because you can see how the sky dome, the sky color interacts with the dreadlocks. This is something that I definitely was missing in this one. So let me maybe even grab the color. The light scenario is a bit different, but the idea stays the same. I still think the color is kind of fitting. So in the shadow it will be more uniform. Yeah, I definitely do like it more like this. I still wonder, not that it really matters to me that much, when they will actually add multi graphic card support, because as far as I know, they still like the entire Photoshop only can use one graphic card. After God knows how many years, PS is still not able to use more than one graphic card, which is like laughable. I think they are just too lazy to incorporate something like this. Maybe it's just hard, but at this point I don't believe it's that hard. And the blue from the sky on top of it small. Oh yeah, that's right. That's true. And this is why Michał is kinda cool. Because he does spot stuff like this. Yeah, he is absolutely right that it should be behind his head. This is a separate layer. Yeah, whip. Yeah, it does look better. That's true. You see, find yourself a cool friend like Michał. And yeah. And your paintings will improve significantly. This is one of the things that is just sometimes you just can't see it by yourself. You just need someone else to point it out. I would try 2 things. I would try to take a blue, darker blue, reflect it on the head, but put it on a screen with lowered opacity. So it will be bluish, maybe even more blue. Yeah, this is the way, because then it also interacts with what's underneath it. And it will also give me this bluish color to the bones. Yeah, now I can actually, with this layer, add this blue everywhere. Because this guy should have some blues on him, as Michał correctly noticed previously. He is kinda smart if he wants to be. But also this is one of the things that is extremely important to remember the... Well, my nose is itchy. To remember the interaction of the character with the environment. That it will happen. Yeah, now I can add it here and here and here, and everybody gets a blue light. Kinda here. So yeah. And the way to add it with like a layer style of screen is still a thing that I learned from Konstantinos Kenteridis, because he is a magician. Yeah, I do like him much more like now. Now it looks nicer. I will keep actually this layer as a separate still, so I can always go back to it and refine it, but now I have to do more of the shadow of the head and bring back some shadows. And also for a cool detail, if anyone would wonder, for the head, and there is this thing that quite a lot of bodybuilders have. If they take too many steroids, this is actually interesting and really cool looking. So if you will be ever doing any, well, it's almost placed perfectly. If you will be doing any type of, I don't know, strong creatures, they do tend to have like this like wrinkly type of a top of a head. I might even use this one maybe in here. Let's see how it looks like. But yeah, this is a thing that happens when you use steroids, turns out. And let's see if this contributes to the texture on the head, because the wrinkles are just like interesting in a sense. Control U, colorize. Now he looks like a... He did look like some sort of a fruit. So no, I'm not adding this, especially on the miniature. Yeah, the brush. For a second I disconnected the layer with the with this bluish hue from the Goblin, because I do want to kinda focus more on sculpting the thing, and I want to do it with some loose layers around it, so yeah. I want this visible area of the skull to be here, to be present in here. Because on the side of the skull you have all those muscles and whatnot. And it always does look kinda cool if you include it. It nicely breaks the quite boring shape of the side of a skull. In one of the videos also of Brad Rigney, the hack spawn, that I used to talk a lot during different streams, he is spending like some obscene amount of time, like really like 20 or 30 minutes or something like this, just wiggling with those really subtle head shapes to just achieve like the dumbest kind of look that he can get on a head of the creature that he was doing, and I find it quite amazing. But yeah, this is also one of the things that why you should spend a lot of time on the faces, because we are just really good at reading them. This is a thing that we do every single day almost, or at least we should do every single day. Kind of at least interact with people a bit more, which recently I have been guilty of not doing, because I decided to live like a proper caveman and just do stuff and play Magic the Gathering. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah, I have to rewatch it just for the sake of like just for the sake of rewatching it. It's funny because this one is might actually be one of the nicest creatures in the set. What I did not expected. I feel much more control on this one compared to the. Let me open the Cyclops. Yeah, this one is a bit more like contrasty, I would say, and a bit more serious. The troll is definitely the flattest one. He looks kind of flat, but well, shit happens. Longest time ago it was, so. Yeah, and also what I maybe not won't say it surprised me most, but was good that he did was how many photos he is using. Because if it turns out he is not using a photo bashing, then I would be like, okay, I'm not doing art anymore. But because he uses fuckload of photographs, then I'm really happy that he does, because it gives me hope. Yeah, also for this guy I want some liver spots on his head. This is recently one of my favorite details to include on like monsters and everything. To have this type of a thing, and at some point I guess I just like watched the video on YouTube or whatever, and someone said this is like a liver type of a related thing. Some sort of a disease can produce those type of a things. So if you have any of those, and if you know anyone who has any of those, they might be worth checking, because they might be bad or whatever. But also those type of textures. Also, this one will be a nipple, and those type of textures, like the things like this, kind of make it a little bit more believable. Because really rarely it happens that something something in real life will have like a perfectly clear skin without any like, I want to use a word that is called skaza, but I has not the slightest clue how skaza is in English language, so I'm not even going to pretend that I know how it is, but let me check it. Skaza. Flaw. This is the easiest word ever, and I do know this word. Or diathesis. This is more like skaza, but flaw, yeah. Things will have flaws on their skin. So yeah, painting those flaws, definitely good idea. Definitely I recommend a lot. Weeeee, yeah, I don't know. Press no. Yeah. Now I feel the clavicular portion of his chest, of his front, is a bit too strong. And then this shadow should be much deeper in here, because the face will cast a shadow on it. So in here it will get a pass, but in here it won't get a pass. Yeah, I'm going to sit because my legs don't want to stand anymore. So let me just wait for the the thing to go down. Oh my god, this chair is so comfy. I have not the slightest clue how people can stand in work for like 8 hours a day. I would flip and die after the entire day of standing. But also this might be a reason why, when I was starting to train, a personal trainer told me that my gluteus maximum is quite weak and I have to work basically on my ass. And it's because I was really leading a sitting type of a lifestyle. So because I was sitting a lot, my ass was just weak. And it caused a lot of problems with many exercises like deadlift or squats or whatever. So yeah, standing with a desk, 10 out of 10, recommended. Ass is nicer, more round, always a bonus. So yeah, very good indeed. And definitely I feel 10 times more focused when I'm painting standing. So it's definitely something that is cool. Wait, how was this part of the word? Body, navel, belly button. Oh, but yeah, also navel. Navel, navel.
Navel.
Navel. Okay. Navel sounds a bit better than a belly button. And there is this cool thing also for the stomach. Right. Let me search for the image. Oh yeah, this one. Let me paste it. There is this type of a shit that can happen. So if you have like normal abdominal muscles, you have this like linea alba, the connective tissue, the tendon basically between the things. But in some cases, you can like, I don't know, pull it off, pull it out, stretch it, whatever. Especially if you have a lot of internal fat, it can stretch. And it's a cool detail to have on some of the goblins, possibly. This is for training, but I hate their artwork. I did. Did they pay you? If yes, then there is nothing to hate about it. Like it made you money. I hope it did. So yeah, there's nothing to hate it. If you mean you hate it in a sense that you dislike how it turns out, that you wanted to make it better, then understandable. But I would focus more on being proud on finishing the commission instead of like hating it. If you mean hate because of the topic or whatever, shits happen. Sometimes you just have to do something outside of your comfort zone, and yeah, and it will just happen. Many times in my workplace, I had to do or have to do some things that I don't particularly enjoy, but I'm like, nah, I will manage to do it. So yeah. But if they are happy and if they paid you and if there are no problems with it, I would be like really happy. When I got my first big commission, one of my first big commissions, I really disliked it in a sense that I mean, I like the artworks. Yeah, so it does not matter. Finished, done, checked. Next time you will do better. That's all. But also, this is the thing that I was struggling with because I used to really hate the project I was working on in a sense that it was kind of annoying, but I liked doing it, but it was not turning out how I wanted, so I disliked it. And the disliking part made it much harder for me to finish. So at some point I was like, why am I hating on it? I'm like, fuck, I'm doing what I like and I'm getting paid for it, so there's nothing to hate. And immediately everything started to go much better. I mean, this is the hard part of being an artist. Because we as artists tend to be really it will be some hard words to say and pronounce because I'm not sure if those are the best words to convey what I mean. But we tend to be really protective over our artwork and we really price everything that we do, in a sense that we value everything that we do a lot. And if you are going to stress over every single thing, then this work is going to be a nightmare, and like an absolute nightmare, and it's annoying and it's a disaster. But if you treat it as a work, because in the end of the day, if you are getting paid for it, it is a work, like work as any other, then you have to kind of learn to kind of work with what you do. So in a sense that even if you have like a bad day or you feel uninspired or whatever, you still have to perform at least somehow. You have still to deliver stuff and stuff like this. Honestly, since I started working in studio, I don't think I had a single day where I felt not oh my god, I'm missing the word. Not inspired, but not when I had no inspiration for work or whatever. Of course, I had worse days, better days, whatnot, but I was like, okay, I still have to do it, so I will do it. It will be just less pleasant than usual, because today I don't really feel like making art, but I have to do it anyway. So, but because this is like what I kind of can do, and I did it. So yeah. In the end, it is just a job. But the difference with our job is other people have to like sit in Excel and whatnot, and even if they like it, still they do have to hold the tables and stuff, and sometimes you just have annoying boss or whatever, or you just do stuff that don't really matter that much, because in many companies there are like a lot of jobs and positions that literally don't matter, that are kind of unnecessary. And the same stuff kind of happens in like game dev, I believe. That a lot of stuff is just like not necessary, like not needed to be made. But in the end of the day, we are getting paid for painting dragons and painting goblins and painting boxes and other shit and stuff that is just like cool, in a sense that it is cool. So yeah, it does not really get better than that, I think. So yeah, if anyone would ever try to... Why there's a shadow in here? Am I stupid? Yes. So in the end of the day, this is a type of work where pretty much every single day where I go to it, I'm like, yeah, cool. Like I'm doing monsters for a living, like bit that. And yeah, especially or maybe on freelance it was a bit less like this. But yeah, also many times on freelance, even I was just like asking a friend of mine, like, oh, what do you do? What have you done in your job today? And they're like, and bitching about everything. And I'm like, huh, I was painting a zombie. And they were all like, yeah, fuck you. I have not a wait, what I do? The light source is from the left, not from the right. This shadow was okay. Brain, start working. Shadow here, from the face. Shadow here. I thought I'm looking at it from the other side. But now this shadow won't be as big on this arm because this ear Wait. If I do have a shape more or less like this. And the head like this, and let's say this is just a sphere. And this is the ear, so straight for light from the top will give me this shadow. But the light is not from the top, light is from the front and at an angle. This is in that angle, so this would be like here, like this. Yeah, the shadow in here will be a bit more in the back. It should, yeah, should be like this. Some more light on this area. Now I'm absolutely not sure about it, but now I remember why I had more light here, because there will be more light here. And the ear will cover a bit of it, of this general area, but not as much as I covered. And the head will cast a shadow on the neck, but not as much as I made it do. So yeah. Yeah, this is the things why you should take breaks from this stuff. Yeah, but also, I mean, I would say easily this is one of the more interesting jobs because it's just cool. You just do something, you produce an artwork, people enjoy those artworks. Everybody likes to look at nice art, and like I don't know a single person that is like, oh. Okay, I do know people who are like, I hate fantasy. Fantasy is stupid. I mean, I heard about people like this, and I met some of them. I no longer like keep in touch with them or whatever, but 99% of people like art and like games and movies and whatnot. So just doing those as a craft is highly rewarding. Even today, I have seen one of the streamers that I like, one of the like YouTube guys that I liked, and when they did a miniature about some guy, I don't even know if I can disclose it, but without telling any details, I just saw he made a miniature. He had a miniature with my artwork on it because he was discussing some topics from the game, and he used a part of an artwork that I did, and I was like, nice. So yeah, and this made me kinda proud of myself. So yeah, every time when you dislike artwork that you did, it's absolutely normal. But also be proud of it that you finished it. This is even more important. So for example, in this case, the Goblin I like at this moment. The Cyclops I stopped liking. It looks like it's overdone. It's kind of too flashy. Everything is a bit too wrong with it. I won't say I don't like it, but I think I could do better job with it. The troll I do like, but I don't think. I think I could make a bit better. I could have maybe better decisions could have been done right here. So for example, as you can see, this one looks a little bit more natural than the troll. But yeah, it is what it is. So if I later clump them together, it will be a shit show of 5 different styles most likely. So happens. But by any means, I won't be angry that I did it. I did it. I failed on making 5 of them look the same. So maybe I should try harder. Or maybe next time I will do a better job with it. So yeah, life goes on. As Oliver Tree says. Life goes on and on and on and on and on. On and on and on. So this is how it will go. Yeah, it also happens a lot. Sometimes you will just get this like one shot, this good illustration that will just like click with your brain. In my case, our station, I had the same thing. Like sometimes you'll just produce an illustration that is better than what you can produce normally. And for example, you will do it, and after like I don't know 2 years later, you will be able to reach the same level again because somehow by some miracle you just did something like much better. In my case, one of those artworks is, what do you mean 6 years ago? Fuck me. Yeah, and this is what I'm talking about, 6 years, and I can do it right now. It will be too hard to do the same thing right now. Yeah, but what? Ah, okay. This was the artwork that I was really proud of back. It was 6 years ago, so I was 21. And at that point, I had no idea what I was doing, like when I was painting. And this one, like, clicked with me. Like, the character in here really clicked with me. And I like how it turned out. And I just liked everything about it. Now I see a lot of the things that could be improved, especially the guy in the background, but it just clicked. For the next, like, 3 or 4 years, I couldn't do anything that would be even close to it. But yeah, it just happens sometimes. But now if I would have to do something like this, I guess I would do it 10 times faster and it will look much better. But yeah. But this is art. You just sometimes have to go through all these problems because sometimes just the setting will click. Like maybe you just found the illustration that was just in the golden like spot with everything that you know that you can do, and yeah, and then there's nothing you can do. It will just perform better on one of those. But if I would consistently do, it was 6 years ago. Fuck me. And this is also the problem with like looking at your old stuff. I was like convinced it was like 3 years ago, maybe tops, and it's 6, and now I'm sad. Now I'm not feeling like doing the goblin anymore. I want to create epic stuff with epic scenes to surpass the next level. But yeah, happens. I just have to accept it. In the end, if the client is happy, then this is the most important thing in it. And if you feel you could have performed better, this next time you will. Next time you will perform better. Okay, time to do the second hand. I think I will stream for like 30 more minutes or something, or I will finish the hand. Oh, this is the golden balance. I'll finish the hand and I will get out. I want to watch some stuff on YouTube and just be lazy today. Okay, meaty part, bony part, and bony part. Okay. Connective part. Finger, finger, finger. Okay. And the meaty part a bit bigger. And a bit like this. And yeah. A bit like this. Yeah, so now the problem will be to match the quality of this hand to the other hand. Because this hand is not a photo. The second one is a photo. This is also why I should paint it on a separate layer. So I will cut it. I did? I did. Oh, fuck me. I kinda always dislike drawing hands because they are hard. That's the first. And there are so many different small things happening in the wrist area that I so disliked always. Like all those small bumps and shit and whatnot, the small muscles from a thumb. It's always so problematic to draw a nice looking hand. Definitely the knuckles must be a little bit more prominent. With this yellowish hue on them. I try to keep looking at this, the small one, because the small one actually allows me to see how it looks like in the context of the entire figure. So I'm only looking at the small one. It just makes the life easier. Because for example, I don't want this area to be too bright and I also don't want it to be too dark. I want it to be just perfect. I need to prepare a special window for text messages on stream. Maybe to make it look like a... Maybe to make it look like a Photoshop window. Might be actually cool. Bone. All the bit in here around. Let me kinda draw the fingers. So, whoops. They will be a bit more visible. Some reflected light. Black shade on fingers. Wait, there should be one more band in it. Yeah, with the fingers I always forget about it, that if you have like a cylinder of one finger, then the second one will be kinda like behind the first one. So there is this like overlap, and the third one will be even more behind the second one. I always forget about it while painting fingers. I should zoom in. And this shape is always so weirdly awkward. Mm -hmm. Eh, I forgot about the same thing on the other hand. We are looking at it from the top. A bit more from the top. There was a second hand underneath and this was like messing my vision up. Yeah, this will be slightly like this and the bone in here will be bigger. Yeah, there's a bone here and meaty. So yeah, bone here and meaty. Everything is correct, more or less correct. Not perfect, but not bad. I'm definitely not a huge fan of this like hues on those arms. I don't think they look correct. And I think the hands should be darker here. But yeah, I think I will leave it for the next stream because I start to stop seeing the things and I just want to kind of rush it. So let me compare what we achieved today compared to the previous stream. Do I have the fella? Yeah. So we had the one on the right and now we have the one on the left. Yeah, I do think it looks better. On the next stream I do have to maybe finish the legs and the where is the hand? Oh, I almost removed the hand. Oof. The same layer, right? Right. Oof. Yeah, so on the next stream I do have to finish the hand. Do something with this cloth, with this leather. I don't like it right now. I think it could be improved easily. I'm not a huge fan of the shape, and I will try to search for some tutorials on how to paint this skirt because it still looks kind of like it's made out of plastic. So yeah, but generally I like the improvement on the face. I do think this is like a big step forward, and I need to remember about the nose piercing. So yeah, now I can make army of goblins, and just for the sake of checking it, content aware scale, show me what you will do if I will press you down. I always liked content aware scale. If you are doing designs and you need to create something that is small and uneven, content aware scale is absolute best for it. So let's check what it will do because it's still processing it. Yeah, this is his small and scrawny brother, but I like what it did with the head. I actually like the head much more with this shape. I will leave it because I do like the head shape. Like this triangular type of a thing is much more like awkward. But yeah, anyway, thanks for stepping by. Next stream possibly on Wednesday, but maybe Monday, I don't know. We'll see. So yeah, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe and share and comment on the video. This is the most useful as far as I know. So yeah, make sure to comment. I will check it. And yeah, thanks for watching. Discord server in the description down below. And see ya. To the next time.